Over the years here at Survival on Purpose, we've looked at a lot of knives. And along the way, we've talked several times about how society's views on knives and carrying knives has changed pretty drastically over the last few decades, not necessarily for the better. So what I thought we'd do in today's Sharp Saturday video is talk about this really cool knife I got and the organization that I got it from, who is working tirelessly to help protect and defend your and my right to carry and use a knife like we used to be able to do all the time. We're going to take a look at this SOG Diverge XR drop point and talk quickly about the folks at Knife Rights. That's what's coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me for today's Sharp Saturday video, where it's Saturday and we take a look at something sharp. And like I said already, today that something sharp is this SOG Diverge XR folding flipper knife. I got this one, as you can see, it's got a little design on it from the folks at Knife Rights. And we're going to talk briefly about Knife Rights because it's an organization that I'm really happy to be a part of, because they are not just talking about stuff, but they are doing stuff to restore and protect your and my right to keep and carry a knife like we used to not even think about. But first, as usual, today's words of wisdom from the Bible. Today's wisdom is from the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 2, in the NLT version. Pride leads to disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. And, of course, a big thank you to my friends at Hog Holsters for being not only the longest running channel sponsor here at Survival on Purpose, but for making the most comfortable, most concealable holster I've ever used. Hog Holsters are 100% made in the USA, each one painstakingly, individually handcrafted by a United States Marine Corps veteran to fit your specific pistol model. There is no one-size-fits-all at Hog Holsters. Perfect retention built in, and they are absolutely great holsters. Helping Americans wear guns is what HOG stands for. And if you use the coupon code Survival on Purpose, all one word, you'll be glad you did. Oh, and a little sneak news here. Stay tuned to the channel, because really soon, maybe even next week, we're going to have a little news coming up about HOG holsters and knife sheaths. So stick around for that. Anyway, thanks to HOG Holsters for sponsoring today's video. Okay, so we're going to talk about this knife and show you some details and do a little bit of that scientific testing in just a minute. But first, I want to tell you briefly about Knife Rights and why I think it's such a great organization. So Knife Rights is a knife rights organization similar to Gun Owners of America or NRA or whatever for guns, but they are working tirelessly, literally, across the nation at both local, state, and federal levels to preserve and restore your and my right to carry and use a knife, whatever kind of knife we want. And they've been really successful at establishing preemption laws in states, getting them enacted. And what that does, that restricts local municipalities or cities or whatever from passing any laws that are more restrictive than whatever the state says. And that actually was very applicable to me in Georgia, because one of the things they were able to accomplish, one of the states they were able to accomplish that in 2012, they had the Georgia knife law preemption enacted and repealed dozens of local knife restrictions, including Atlanta. So there's good. But here's a short list of some of their other accomplishments, and I'm just going to do it like this. If you live in New Hampshire, Georgia, Missouri, Indiana, Tennessee, Nevada, Texas, Maine, Wisconsin, Colorado, Louisiana, Montana, Virginia, Delaware, Vermont, all those states had their switchblade knife restrictions repealed thanks to efforts from the folks at Knife Rights. If you like automatic knives, there you go. So if you're not a member of Knife Rights, I highly encourage you to do so if you like sharp stuff. It's not very expensive. Their annual membership is just $35 a year, and it's tax deductible. So they help defend your rights to carry and roll back restrictive laws. So that's it. That's all we'll talk about. Oh, one more thing I will say. The Virginia switchblade ban, I thought this was really important, that they got repealed. It also included an expungement of all prior convictions for illegal knives. So not only did they get it repealed, but they grandfathered people in and cleaned their records if they've been convicted of a crime about knives. So that's great. Now, let me bring you down to the old tabletop here. We'll take a closer look at this Diverge XR from the folks at SOG and get to doing a little bit of that science. You want to? Alrighty, here is the SOG Diverge drop point. And you can see this has the Knife Rights logo lasered on there. And on the other side, it says free the knives, hashtag free the knives. So pretty cool there. Let's talk about the specs of this thing, and we'll get to do a little bit of that science. So it features a 3-inch drop point blade of cryogenically heat-treated D2 steel with a black PVD finish. Has a sharpening choil, you can see right there. I always like those. An open length of 7 1/4 inches. And the handle is textured 6061 aluminum with this one with a dark red finish. It weighs 2.8 ounces, very lightweight. A reversible tip-up deep carry pocket clip, as you can see. And it has an XR lock, which withstands up to 1,500 pounds of force. Some very fine jimping up here on the back where you rest your thumb on the blade, and just a little bit on the inside of the flipper, which translates and transfers into a finger guard. And in this lock, it looks sort of like an axis lock, but it's not. It has a, I don't know if you can get in there and see that or not. We'll try to let you see it. There's a pretty good sized notch in there, and the lock bar just catches right there, bam. And it works really good. There it is. I think it's a good looking knife, and it also, it's kind of good to know that I'm supporting Knife Rights. That's cool too. So anyway, that being said, the MSRP on this particular knife style without the Knife Rights stuff on it is $65 or $59 on Amazon at the time of this video. Now, let's get into doing some science. You want to? See if we can sit there without messing up the white balance. So first of all, I'm going to try to, first of all, as you know, I like to kind of maintain the standardization of our scientific testing, and one of the tests I like to do is the internationally recognized sharpness test, the redneck sharp test. So we're going to do that. My testing medium has kind of gotten jacked up here. We're going to try it and see how well this thing works. And okay, yeah, man, a lot of hair there, and we got a nice little bald patch there. Well, I like to do it on both sides just to make sure it's all good. Can you see that? Are we in frame here? Okay. Yeah, man, it is sharp. All right, passes that. Let's mess up the white balance. You want to? Check out the old paper cutting. Yep. I like to just hold it with 2 fingers and see how well it does. Okay, pretty good. So I'm happy to see that the folks at SOG are another company that didn't get the memo that anybody knows you have to sharpen a new knife. So pretty good there, and also pretty stinking smooth. So, and that's how it looks folded up. Like I said, it's a super lightweight knife and nice smooth action. I like this lock. I like these locks because you can close them with one hand. You don't have to worry about getting your fingers in the way or anything like that. That's pretty cool, I think. Shugnars can rub 2 pieces of fire together and make wood. Alrighty, well that was an admittedly brief look at this SOG Diverge XR flipper knife, and I gotta say it is a pretty slick knife, I think. You know, I've always kind of liked SOG, and they didn't let me down on this one. I like the fact that it comes out of the pack sharp. And I really like this lock. I like the smoothness of it, the flipper part of it. I think the little details of the really fine jimping up here are really nice. They do really give you just enough to bite and give you grip, but they're not uncomfortable at all like so much jimping is. Same thing here. It just kind of keeps your hand from sliding off there, your finger. And I like the fact that it has a sharpening choil. I like it all. If you didn't have the Knife Right stuff on it, it'd be very low-key black too. So it's just a really nice knife, and I gotta say I think the folks at SOG did a really good job on this one, and I really just wanted an opportunity to share the folks at Knife Rights with you. If you go to kniferights.org, you can check them out. Again, they're not just talking the game, they are walking the walk. They're actually working hard. They have accomplished a lot. The stuff I read you, the accomplishments are just a drop in the bucket of what they have listed on their website. So that is, in my opinion, a worthy organization to support, and it's tax deductible, so that's pretty good too. So there you go. That is today's Sharp Saturday video, and I really sincerely appreciate you watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared. I'll see you next time.